So I wasn't. Did I tell you I was digging through all the start lists of all the different races?
Wait,
and I'm all.
Shall we begin?
You aren't stuck in traffic. You are traffic.
Let's begin now.
Please get that bicycle-shaped object out of this shop. Oh, no, dude. No mix and match here. Black bottoms or full-on kit. Pedal on, bro. Pedal on.
Let's begin now.
Oh, geez. Learn the hard way. Wider is better.
Today is Thursday, September 12th, 2019. You're just downloading or listening to Bike Shop CX. I almost said 2014 for some reason.
14.
Music I'm using on today's show is Be Jew by Philly Run. As always, you can download this music for free. At the Free Music Archive. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about some products. We're going to be reviewing the Park WH1, that new wheel.
Holder.
I don't even know
It's a
what
wheel
the holder.
H.
Yes, that Park came out with. We're going to be talking about the Works Hydra Shot, which is a Works is a
so
new,
geeked about that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
New sponsor of the show. But we're going to just kind of cover that product too, because we've both been using it and will be using it more in the future. And the typical, what are you working on? We got a bunch of viewer questions, and we're hoping to get some live calls. We have a live call-in number set up on Twitter that we're just about to tweet out, and people can call in. So it's 6 a.m. in the morning right now, so we may get a call and we might not. But so people know what it is if it happens. So, all right, without further ado, let's get on with it. The Bike Shop is open. Mr. David Palin.
Hey, Scotty D, man.
What's up?
It's post-PT weekend.
All right, well, we talked about the phone number. So before we're going to try and take some live. Obviously, we don't put the show out live. Were you aware of that?
No.
So we're going to...
wait a minute, this is news. All these years we've been doing this together, I thought this is live.
I'm tweeting.
And there's no video either?
I'm tweeting out the number right now.
Now.
People can call in. There it goes. People can call in and talk to us while we're doing the show if they want.
I'm going to retweet it, which is funny because we're talking like they're going to listen. Because right now, it's too late.
It's too late. We're going to see if anybody calls. You can call for tech questions. You can call just to say, hey, I saw you guys at such and such a race. And
I passed you on my way to a race.
I saw the van. We had people this past weekend tell us about seeing the van, right?
Yeah.
Mr. David Palin. Yeah. Or, hey, I just want to say hi and mess with you guys. So all that. Now, if you do that last one, you might get edited out. So just know.
Yeah, be nice to us.
Within reason.
Be nice to us.
So, all that stuff is possible. I see Mr. David Palin just retweeted that. So, yeah, it's out there. Give us a call and bear with us because we're not really sure. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. Look at this,
like
Mr.
on
David.
cue. Like on cue.
On cue.
Call from Tracy Berman.
Here we go.
To accept, press 1.
Is this Dr. Tracy Berman?
It is.
Dr. T, did we catch you mid-ride or something?
Yeah, I'm in Watopia, which now has dinosaurs, so I can't escape them.
So you just saw the number. We were just saying we're going to tweet the number right now, and within seconds, you give us a call.
Dr. T, she doesn't miss a beat.
I may have had an insider tip. I try not to be on social media in the morning. It's distracting.
But you knew this was going to come. You were waiting for this. Are you out on a training ride, or are you commuting?
She's in the basement. She's a triathlete. She's in the basement.
Oh, you're on the trainer.
I'm in the basement. Yeah. On my cross bike, though.
Oh, good.
Oh, barriers. Jump.
Did you have a question for us, or are you just calling to say hi, which is totally fine?
I'm just calling to say hi.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're our first caller.
It's so appropriate.
And I'm glad this worked. So
yeah, she's our test case.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably leave this in. It won't be edited out.
All right.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, Dr. T, we'll talk to you.
All right, great. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Well, look at that, Mr. David
How
Palin.
about that? Like,
It's like magic. When that phone rang, I wasn't exactly sure what to do right away.
we should have asked her what she's working on.
I love that she's on the trainer. It's like 6 a.m. She's already on the trainer and will then commute to
Of
work,
course.
right? Yeah, of
Well,
course.
it is Thursday, as you said in the prequel there,
Yeah.
the show intro. And Thursday's our normal 5 a.m. ride, which we'd put on the back burner so we could get with our viewers this morning.
Oh, so that's why she's doing that.
That's why she's doing that. That's why she's stuck inside a rainy Michigan morning, which I'm very happy about because on a day like today where it's rainy and just not a really pleasant morning, she would still make me go out. He's like, well, what would you do if it rained on race day?
Of course.
Of course.
That's a legitimate question.
It is. I'd stay home.
So, but Mr. David Palin, before we go any farther,
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Oh, all these questions. Go ahead.
What are you working on?
Oh, man. There's so many things I'm working on right now. I'm working on getting prepared, packing things up. Panic packing is my method of choice for Jingle, sort of. But ultimately, I'm so psyched to be going
What are you packing for Jingle?
I got things that are going with...
that are going with other people.
With other people.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you packing for Jingle? You're
Yeah,
not
you'll
even
see.
going.
Craig-
Wait, you make fun of how much I pack, right? And you're packing for a race. You're not
Well,
even
here's the
going
thing.
to.
Here's the thing with me, right? I don't make fun. I jealously look at what you do
And
I
go,
think,
man,
you know what?
I wish I was going too.
I have this like OCD, but I'm also ADD. So I don't have this sense of, I wish I could be that compulsive on this stuff. I want to be that compulsive.
Right.
And I do a million other things. Look, shiny object. Next thing I know, throw everything in. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out later.
You know, and I was when we went to Alma, and I'm sure we're going to talk about Alma at some point. When we went to Alma this past weekend,
Yes.
I don't know if you realized, but I had very compact packing. The only thing extra I had our works thing because I wanted
And
to
you
check
were
it out.
staying 2 nights too.
And I was staying 2 nights,
Ooh.
one bag for announcing, and a tent,
and a tent.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And
That
I
was
still
impressive.
managed to spread it out around 3
Dude,
cars.
you gotta
and
work
still
on
forgot
that.
stuff
You-
in Alma.
Stuff. I had, because my wife and I drove separately, you had stuff in both cars.
Yeah.
The trailer.
Yeah.
On the pontoon boat, the Avalon pontoon boat,
And-
in Tyler's car, in JB's
Everything.
car.
Yeah. So, anyways, if you were at Alma and found some of my stuff, just let me know. It wasn't quite that bad.
Oh,
but it
that's
was funny
funny.
because I park here at cyclocross headquarters, and I thought I had done really well. Said goodbye to you guys, and St. John said, "Oh, by the way, we have your keys to your car
Are still in our car.
are still in their car."
So
I was in 4 different vehicles. I went out there without my car. Everyone kept saying, "Well, how are you getting to whatever the next thing was?" And I said, "I'll figure it out."
right.
And the cyclocross family is so cool.
Well, and that's it up especially when you're up in Alma, you know everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's like there's so many potential rides and stuff. So, well, that's cool.
That very cool.
Is that all you're working on? Is packing?
Yeah, well, we have some secret stuff that we've been working on. I guess
Yeah.
not so secret stuff as well.
Yeah, we'll
but
get to
there's
that.
the stuff that we're working on for Trek for Wisconsin, and our socks, man. Our socks are
Our
hot.
socks are not only here, but we've actually sold
A bunch.
some.
Yeah. So
quite a few at Alma. I was
we have talked
surprised.
about Alma and then Wisconsin, but what we had left out was Iowa.
Yes,
You may not want to wait till Wisconsin to pick
if you're
up
going
these.
to both,
If you're going to be at both,
you might want to grab
pick 'em
some
up
at
in Iowa,
Jingle
for sure.
Because we sold a lot more than we expected to just at the Alma race.
Yeah.
And it won't be as in your face of a setup at Jingle Cross, right? Because you're
No,
not going to be
right,
there.
I won't be.
The whole wide angle podium crew's not going to be there. That's going to be a huge thing for us at Trek. But I will be at Jingle Cross. I will have our socks with me.
Mikes and bikes.
But you'll have to find me, and then
He's easy
the
to
van
find.
is easy
He's
to
easy
spot,
to
but I
find.
might not be at the van
Yeah.
all the time because I'm just parking in general parking. The van is, and then I'll get to that if you happen to ask me what I'm working on, I'll talk about that. But
I'm trying to, but you're talking too much.
but anyways, I'll have some. So if you really want some and you track me down, I'll be able to get you some there. So
Which brings us to my question, which you asked you, Scotty D. What are you working on?
speaking of packing,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, dude, I am packing the van for the entire week. I'm staying out there.
Do you have
right?
housing, or are you going to just stay in the van? Is that what's the plan?
I'll probably
at this point?
stay in the van at this point. Yeah.
Well, the weather looks like it's very suitable for that.
I'm staying in the van just for the days of Jingle.
Right.
And then I'm driving to the Twin Cities. Staying at my dad's house for a few days, and then which Tyler Cloutier, the Texar Canadian, is also staying at his cousin's, just purely by coincidence. I was like, what are you doing after Jingle? He's like, oh, I'm driving to the Twin Cities. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
You're like twins.
I'm doing the same thing. So we are going to hopefully get to hang out with Aaron from TNR-Tape.
That's so cool.
Yes, we're going to try and do something. I don't know, quick lunch or something, because that's where those guys are located. So that will be fun if we get to do that. And but yeah, packing the van, dude. And I'm at the same time I am gluing up a set of tires onto a set of wheels that I'm actually going to be bringing. And because I'm going to be helping support Tyler again, which I did at Alma, but I'm going to do it again at Jingle. Jingle for sure. Trek is a little bit more hit and miss because of our podcasting responsibilities, but we'll see what happens. Right. So yeah, basically it's really early in the morning, Thursday morning. If I think about it, it's kind of scary because that means by tomorrow night, I'll be supporting Tyler at the race.
Yeah, when are you leaving? Are you leaving this afternoon or tomorrow
I'm
morning?
Leaving bright and early tomorrow morning. Yeah. So the Friday night Jingle race isn't until 9 p.m. So it's I'll probably get there around noon, and I'll have 9 hours to get ready. So that should be fine. Weather's looking okay, but as always in the world of cyclocross, you know what they say, Mr. David Palin?
They say,
don't prepare for what you think will happen. Prepare for anything that could happen.
Prepare what won't happen.
Here's the thing, too. For these two races, these two World Cups, I don't know if people, it's one of the things I think people should take into consideration is we could have two completely different weather spectrums on these two weekends.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Iowa
even
could
day
be,
to day.
Yeah, Iowa could be blazing hot. They're saying 86 right now, sunny.
Yeah.
86. If it's as humid as it is here right now, it could be brutal at Jingle Cross. We could then turn around the next weekend and go up to Trek, and it could be freezing cold.
Yeah.
Right? So it's really, really labor intensive trying to prepare for what could potentially happen at these two races. So, yeah, man, it's
luckily for everybody involved in Bike Shop CX world, this is not your first rodeo.
No, I've done this once before.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just a lot of preparation to be ready to do these.
But
so
the
that's
main
basically
thing,
what I'm doing. Yeah.
What I really want,
and
go ahead.
this little other thing I'm doing of gluing these tires. But other than that, So go ahead.
Don't worry, you don't have to pay full attention to the tire thing. Just
just kind of glue them on.
Do your best.
Yeah.
But in the prep, the most important thing is gonna have the coffee maker, right?
I've got several. I've almost always have like 2 or 3 ways that I can make coffee in the van.
The AeroPress, right?
I have. Sometimes I bring the AeroPress.
Yeah.
I usually have 1 or 2 different percolators. I really like percolated coffee. And then a regular, like a drip coffee, or I might take that out because space is becoming very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Limited.
Yes.
Right. So I might just bring the percolators with me. But yeah, and I'm hoping gotta have some Grimpeur Brothers.
You gotta have some Grimpeur Brothers.
So people, if you want,
which coffee are you gonna bring though? You're gonna bring, because I have some Sunny G coffee.
Oh,
I will bring that.
Okay, bring that. We'll bring that for Trek.
Okay,
and we'll have some of that in the van. Maybe we'll be able to make that up at the just in general at the WAP headquarters at Trek.
Yeah, I would imagine we're gonna have plenty of the full Schleck and plenty of cyclocross friends there. Yeah,
so if you want to support Grimpeur Brothers and the Wide Angle Podium Network, go buy some of our coffees at Grimpeur Brothers. That is Hello Cyclocross Friends and the full Schleck.
Yeah.
If you buy those from Grimpeur Brothers, go to GrimpeurBrothers.com or just go to WideAnglePodium.com, click on the link. It'll take you to Grimpeur Brothers. Buy one of those 2 coffees, and we get a little bit of something for it, and you get great coffee.
Yeah, so it's a win-win.
Win-win. So there, please help us out. Do that. It's a great way to say thanks to us and to them, because Dan is somebody
the man
that supports cyclocross.
I'm a fan of Dan.
Not only do I dig Doug, I'm a fan of Dan.
That's right. Hashtag I'm a fan of Dan. And I got, I ordered, I don't know if you ordered one, I got myself the official Grimpeur Brothers peace sign T-shirt that he's got coming out.
I saw that.
I mean, I know you're younger than me, but that warms my heart.
Dude, I was alive in the 70s.
You were alive in the 70s. I know.
Was the peace sign more 70s or 60s?
It is late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
it
my
kind of
days.
went across.
Yeah. Summer Love, 69.
Yeah, I was 2 then, but, you know.
You remember it well.
I remember it well. So, all right. Mr. David Palin,
Yeah.
you mentioned the Alma GP.
I did.
Let's talk about the Alma GP for a minute.
Let's talk about the Alma GP.
It was awesome.
We tease, and I relentlessly tease J.B. Hancock as the P.T. Barnum of cyclocross.
Right.
The kid does an amazing job. The work that he puts in is second to none.
Yeah.
I mean, the number of sponsors he lines up. He comes to us each year, us being Scott Hermanen and I. He comes to us with a box of, please, I have these sponsors that need to get recognition. Give this stuff away. I have too much stuff to give out at the podiums and as prizes and in swag bags. Give this stuff away.
So almost everybody gets something.
If you go to, and I remember my experience at Ithaca years and years ago, which was JB's gig before he did this in Alma.
Yeah.
And I remember at the very end, he's standing up on stage throwing stuff out there. Please take some of this stuff. Some of this stuff. But it's not just about the swag, right? He puts on, it's an airport. I was thinking about this the other day. Worlds this year is on an airport, right?
Right.
So it's just, they're just copying what JB did.
They copied the Alma GP.
And what he can do with that flat runway airport.
Yeah. He uses every bump that's there is turned into a element of the course.
Right.
I mean, it's awesome.
And
amazing.
We say bump, but I mean there's no elevation changes, but there's enough for steers.
Sure.
There's enough for twisty turns, tricky things.
Yep.
And
those
it's not a current, let's be honest, it's not a currently used as an airport. It was a grass field airport that was then used as a leaf dump kind of thing, mulch dump.
Right.
In the city of Alma, which supports him and says, here, use this.
Yeah.
And the president of Alma College comes out and is just supportive of the race.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I'll tell you what my favorite feature of the race is. Well, we didn't even mention the sand.
The pontoon boat.
So we got the Avalon Pontoon Boats. It's a local company that builds pontoon boats. They send one of their
premier luxury boats.
I mean, those things got to be over $200K.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at least. And you guys get to announce from that.
And it had a changing room on the boat.
But the sand section that then, this is the kind of stuff JB does. It's really good.
Yep.
The sand section, as you come out of the sand, right, those berms that you talk about that were basically where compost was stacked and piled.
Yep.
They're in these long like rows, right? But it just looks like it's just a grass mound now. It was not like a garbage dump. We don't want people to think that. This was years ago that like grass and
There's
leaves.
no steam coming off it anymore.
Grass and leaves got stacked there, and it's left this like berm. But coming out of the sand, the course doesn't go all the way to the end of that berm.
That was genius this year.
Genius.
Yes.
Because you come out of the sand and you have to make the decision. There's one, probably about the width of a standard single track.
Yep.
If you were riding on a trail, that you could get around and not go up the berm. If you go, so your choice is, if that's taken, you have to either slot in behind somebody who's going through that, or take the chance and go up and hit the end of that berm and go over that.
Right.
So it forced so many decisions. That was a great feature on that course.
We talk about it all the time. Just because you can ride something doesn't mean you should ride it. In this case, if you choose to run the sand or run that last piece of sand, that sets you up perfect for 2 big steps and you're over the mound. If you chose to ride the sand through the end, then you have to decide again, ride around the end of the mound or over the mound. And over the mound with like no momentum and power coming through the sand, it got really tricky.
Yeah. So I think it was just stuff like that is real. It shows what you can do with without having, you don't always just have to have some big hill or all these crazy terrain changes.
Right.
Little things like that. And you're basically, I think, when you're designing a course, you're trying to decide, how do I force people to make a decision?
Right.
Right. And
Too many
that's what he
people,
did.
too many course designers look for the pinwheel or its
yeah.
equivalent, right?
Yes.
Or I need to force somebody off their bike. That is that's better than a pinwheel, certainly. But the nice thing about what JB does is he forces you to make a decision. You don't have to get off the bike, but it may be smarter to get off the bike. And those are the things. The other thing he did, which was beautiful, is the finish line before the finish line. When you came in and you came out of the woods, a 180 through the bike law tent.
Yes.
So the bike
So
law
you actually
tent,
went into the
you go
tent.
into the tent.
Oh my goodness.
It starts plus 44. You know what that means.
Yeah, this is from the UK. I think this is Tweety
Mike, I bet.
Call from.
Is this Mike?
It may be Mike.
It's Tweety Mike.
It's Tweety Mike. How's it going, man?
I don't know if you've seen my Twitter, but I've just taken receipt of a very large collection of blue and black boxes.
Oh, I saw that you were waiting for some bike-related
That's what I
items.
saw.
You tweeted
Yeah.
that out or put it out somewhere. I saw that. And have they arrived?
Yeah.
Because we have to remember,
but the problem-
it's like 6 a.m. here, but it's already evening there.
Not quite evening.
Not quite. The sun's nearly over the yard up, so I could almost go and open a beer, but not quite.
So what did you receive?
If you want to tell us
If
here.
you want to tell us.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if you can guess. I'm missing some vowels.
Some
Tires?
Like
two. I think it starts off with 2 tires. Tires? Tires has lots of vowels.
Oh, did you say missing vowels? Or I thought he said missing valves.
Oh.
Like you didn't have valves.
Yeah. Vowels. Sorry. It's my Scottish English.
He doesn't understand because, us New Englanders, he's trying to really concentrate on my accent.
So then I'm at a loss, Mr. David Pound. What do you think it is?
I think it's something that starts with 2 consonants. He said they're black boxes, which makes me think some of the best packaged parts out there are SRAM, maybe Access.
Oh.
It's so close. No. It's
ETAP.
It's Gurval, GS, whatever.
GRX.
Grevenol?
Gravel, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's just big GRX Gravel Cross, Cross,
okay.
whatever. I don't know.
By our friends at Shimano?
Yeah, I've got them in for review for Road CC. So I'm now looking at my CX bike, and I'm trying to work out which bits I'm now going to have to buy extra adapters for.
I will say that's one of the things I do appreciate about the SRAM stuff. Now that we went from your Shimano plug to a SRAM plug, sorry about that. Is the interchangeability seems to be a little bit cleaner there.
You mean with the SRAM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my challenge here is straight away I'm thinking, okay, so I've got like $30 worth of wheels manufacturing adapters to buy to change my PF30 into a Holotech 24mm crankset and hope it doesn't start making noise because I just managed to shut the damn thing up after quite a few rides.
And then, I'm very interested. And where can people, when you do your reviews, where can people find that?
So that'll be on road.cc, which is the online magazine that I've been writing for about 5 years now, I think.
Man, that's gone by fast. I remember when you started doing that.
Yeah, and they've got like a management system where you can go in and look at your reviews where you submit them, and I can go back and scroll back and see all of the statistics.
Right.
And I've about 200 products now, something like that.
Wow. That's quite the
Yeah, generally I do maybe 2 or 3 a month, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes more, less, but I mean it's
time permitting.
Yeah, I mean it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't get rich doing it.
With 200 products in the bank, which was your favorite product that you got to ride?
Ooh,
Oh, that's tough.
You're asking, I mean, it would be easier to ask me which is my favorite child. I can tell you that.
Which is your favorite record? I mean, that.
Oh no.
Oh, hello. Is this the is this
Hazy
the,
Vinyl Jive
Hazy
now?
Vinyl Drive podcast phone in line. Right. Don't cross the beans, guys. Don't cross the beans. I guess if I'm looking, well, if we looked at like tools, things that
that's what we like.
They would just like a tool that I would constantly reach for. Actually, it's one of the newest ones.
I know what you're going to say. Is it a torque tool?
No,
it is. A
Yeah.
torque tool.
Here I was thinking it was a chain checker.
No.
Easy. Whoa. There will be letters.
He has a chain checker. It's called the micrometer.
Yeah, I have a number of them, but that's the one that I trust.
Yes. Right.
Anyway, let's not go there.
Okay.
No, it's the I would say the Feedback Sports range.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, a lot of the stuff that I review, or I guess that many people who do this stuff, you kind of review it and you think, I'm never really going to use that again. It seems okay, but because when you're reviewing stuff, you're trying to look at it from the point of view of how would this fit in for, a reasonable number of people. Because if you just looked at it purely from your use case point of view, then you might bag what would actually be a pretty darn good product. And you always have to caveat this.
Yep.
But the range is just awesome. And I think because they've decoupled the torque sensing from the actual ratchet mechanism.
That was the genius of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you can use it for like up to 60 Newton meters. And how you would put that much force into something you can hit the palm of your hand, I don't know. But apparently they've tested it for that. So you can do a bottom bracket with this thing.
If you had
could find you need about half a foot worth of adapters to go from 6 mil or whatever up to half-inch drive.
Well, I'll have you know. I packed that tool in my pit bag for Jingle Cross this weekend. Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's all he needs. That's the only tool that's in there.
Because it's great. I agree with you. It's a great tool. It's a great tool.
But I think you're right. The decoupling of the torque piece of it from the ratchet piece of it is the genius of that tool.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, it is actually just purely from a workshop speed point of view, because when you're mucking around with handlebars or stems and you're trying to get stuff just right, and you do not have to take the tools out. You don't have to remove the bit from the fastener. So straight away for a shop, it's a hell of a lot quicker, and for everyone else, it's just less wear and tear on your tools and on the fasteners. So,
awesome.
Yeah, no, it's just fantastic. Yeah, and it's small enough that you can go out on a ride and kind of get an hour into it, think, am I happy with that position? I want the hoods up another couple of degrees or down or whatever. You can just pull it out of your back pocket straight away. Like when I was reviewing it, I would actually leave the 3 or 4 mil bit in the tool and just put it in my pocket. Yeah, and then I could think, do I want to tweak it? Yeah, and it was just so easy. Anyway, I mean, generally Feedback Sports stuff gets pretty consistently high reviews around here. Anyway.
All right, well, we'll look for your review, man, and let us know what you think of all that stuff. I'm sure you're going to love it.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of learnings there, I think. But really sure. Hey, thanks for the opportunity to talk, guys.
All right, Mike, thanks for calling, man. We'll talk to you soon. I think I just hung up. There we go. So, dude, how awesome was that?
2 of our favorite viewers.
So we're like never going to get through this show, Mr. D.
No, and this is the show we do early in the morning because I have to work today.
I forget what we were even talking about. We were talking about the Alma GP. But let's just end the Alma GP talk with, it was an amazing race. More people should come to this race. If you're looking for a low-key, really cool, something that's not going to kill you right coming out of the gate to enter cyclocross season.
Right.
And you're going to have a blast, and the town is going to be glad you're there, and it's just a group of people having fun for the entire day. Consider coming to Michigan for the Alma GP.
We will see you next year at the Alma GP.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
for sure.
No reason not to do it. It's just an amazing race.
And JB always invites some really high-end talent. This year, you had Tyler Cloutier. We're working on getting some other people for him next year that will indeed be top-level people.
And we
always have top-level people. Now we're going to add some top-level racers there as well.
And one of the things I was doing at the Alma GP, besides selling our socks, Mr. David Palin,
of course,
was giving out, I can't believe how many people came, and they saw on the side of the van and on the special banner that I had printed, TNR-Tape.
And how many people were just telling us, I mean, even people that weren't taking it from you, coming up and saying, I love that stuff.
Yep.
A few people said, I haven't gotten mine yet because I waited for the Tyler Cloutier specific tape.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, people that have been a little skeptical of it in years past started to come up, hey, this is getting more and more interesting. They're watching the videos of Sonny, Caroline Monty, and Tyler doing the tear-offs after the race and how easy that is.
Yeah.
And honestly, I believe they're starting to think, you know what? I'm getting a little bit tired of putting holes in my kit.
Yeah.
Whether it be from crashing and ripping a hole or just puncturing it with pins over and over and over again. I'm getting tired of that. So let me check this stuff out, and it's just been amazing. We had so many people come up. A lot of people came up and had some already, and were double checking with me and or Tyler about, am I putting this on correctly?
Correct.
And they had already purchased it, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I had a couple people. I handed out some of my sample packs with test numbers so they could give it a try, on their own. So just amazing stuff. If you're looking for a way to attach your bib number to your jersey without using your typical safety pins, check out TNR-Tape. Go to TNR-Tape.com. You can buy the Sonny Gilbert pack or the Tyler Cloutier pack, and all profits go to those two racers to help them with their racing season if you want to support what they're doing. Otherwise, you can buy the plain packs. I think are back up now. So all good stuff. Check it out. TNRTape.com. We cannot say how much we like this product and these guys that are behind there, because they are doing what we always say, Mr. David Pound, which is supporting who?
Support the people that support our sport.
Exactly.
Ultimately, hey, I'm as cheap as the next guy, maybe a little cheaper, and I know the pins that you get are free.
Right.
I have bottles and bottles of pins from multiple races.
Right.
The cost of one kit with a big hole in it will supplant every piece of TNR tape you buy for the rest of your career.
Maybe. Right.
Yeah.
So when
pins are not free.
Right. When you start looking at it that way, pins are not free. There is a cost associated with them. So this way you get to lessen that cost and keep the kit because it's not ripped to shreds.
I know
you
they
can
say
have it for years to come.
Pin it to win it, but tape it to save it. If you want to use your jersey again. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So go to TNRTape.com. Check it out, please. And if you want to send them a note that you heard about it on Bike Shop CX, that's awesome. They
know you did.
They love hearing that.
They know you did.
They probably know it. Yeah. Those guys are pretty cool.
Yeah. Aaron knows everything for sure.
One more thing before we continue on, Mr. David Pound. What did you just pull out of your bag?
Nothing. I didn't do nothing. No, because I really did nothing. Because I
okay. You tried. I thought you were gonna.
I gotta sneak that in, but I realized that I'd left the battery off of my brand new Works Hydra Shot.
Yeah. So we're talking about, this is a brand new sponsor of the show, and anybody that sponsors this show, when we consider who we're going to do ads for on this show, it is not taken lightly. Right?
No, I mean, we've had so many beer sponsors try to send us billions and billions of dollars. And we said, no, that doesn't belong in our show. No, not a good fit.
But something like this from Works, WORX. If you've never heard of Works, go check it out and look at their products. Yeah. But I have actually been they make some workbenches. At the beginning of the season last year, I was like, all right, I need something more than the rickety table that you get at Meijer, the plastic table. That I still have that. Right?
For those of you that don't live in the Midwest, Meijer is a catch-all store where you can buy everything from motor oil
to groceries.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, all right, I need to up.
And evidently tables.
Because those work fine, but I wanted something that was really sturdy because your toolbox is heavy, right? 50 plus pounds. So I was like, oh, look at these things. And I got their two Works Pegasus tables and the Works Sidekick table.
Right.
Amazing. I had mechanics, including Dougie Fresh at DCCX, Sonny Gilbert's husband, be like, what are those? When we had to do that last minute brake bleed for Chris Aitken, having that table, that sturdy table, and it has all these little compartments that you can put small parts. We had like 15 minutes to do a brake bleed, right? And we could take things off, pop them in those little compartments, and then when we had to put it back together, we'd go right back, and nothing. We didn't have to worry about things
rolling off,
getting
or
bumped, and
tipping
sliding
over.
off into the grass. Everything. We were like, he was like, "What are these tables? These
Yeah.
are amazing tables."
And when I saw those tables, the first thing I thought was, do they make cordless tools too?
So, anyways, we were approached about doing having them be a sponsor for the show, and we were happy to say yes because I have a history with their stuff. I knew it was well thought out and well made because I've used these Works tables for a year now. But they want us to check out their what's called their Hydra Shot, and we've had people text and email us about the Hydra Shot, being like, you guys need to check this thing out. And we, just because of time reasons, we never got around to it, but we've gotten around to it now, and we have both been using the Works Hydra Shot.
Yeah.
And Mr. Dave Pound, what do you think of this?
I'll tell you what, I've used it to clean my bike.
Yeah.
And I go gravel riding daily. A lot. And those, it doesn't always come back muddy like a cyclocross bike. It comes back differently muddy because you're out there for 50, 60 miles, and if it's just a little bit wet.
So sometimes it's powdery, dirty that gets a little damp, so it's like sticky. Sometimes it's actual mud,
full on mud,
and everything in between those two. Yeah,
and I don't have a gasoline powered or electric powered power washer.
Yeah,
I have used power washers in the pits before, and I don't need all that power. To clean my bike.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'll tell you what, you just take a 4-gallon pail. Drop the hose in it. It's got a float to keep everything in place, and give the handle a squeeze. Plenty of power to wash the bike, and also it lasts long enough that you can do multiple bikes. Now, you and I have both stepped up, and you've already ordered. I'm getting ready to order some second batteries and some
quick charger,
so that you're ready. You do serious team stuff. I'm involved with the Ann Arbor Velo Club Junior development, so we have multiple bikes you're going to be doing. So you'll always have something on the charger ready to go, and you're always ready to clean multiple bikes.
So where I think this can be used really effectively is, I don't know if in the pit. I think if you were it'd work well in the pit if you were an individual rider, right? And you had, or maybe had one mechanic supporting one rider, then this would be great. In bigger races where maybe you have a team or something going on, you're probably still going to use the provided power washers that the race has, and that's great. Take advantage of those. But in my opinion, when you come back to your team tent, you can't, once your race is over, you're not supposed to continue using the pit power washers, right?
Right.
Many races have a secondary place you can go do cleanup, but that line
even then
is usually down the street, right? So, Tim, for me, the ability to, if you have a team or an individual, to come back to the team tent and have something this portable that still can clean off the bikes back at the team tent, I think that's where I'm going to use this the most, and it is going to be awesome. The other thing is, having your regular power washer back at your team tent, space is very limited at these races.
Right.
And when you crank up a full-on power washer and you start blasting with that thing, it goes everywhere.
And you're wetting everybody down.
You're wetting everything in your tent. You're wetting other people's tents. It's just a pain in the butt, and you got to take it somewhere else.
And you have your 40-gallon water carrier
that
on
weighs
your two-wheeler.
800 pounds.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, man. So you can set up this Hydra Shot. I set up this Hydra Shot and was using it in the amount of time it takes me to just put gas in my my regular power washer.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And you can use it. I use the 4-gallon pail.
Yeah.
You can use it just connected to your garden hose.
Yes.
You can use it in a stream.
Yes.
You can use it in a lake. You can
water
use it
bottle?
with a box, with a fox. You can, it screws onto a 2-liter bottle.
Yes, you can. With
And
the
I
bottle
don't know
cap
if you know this,
connector.
Scotty D.
Yeah.
I'm not a very big guy. My bikes are not very big. I think I could probably do it with like a half-liter bottle. There's the challenge.
The other thing
Yes,
is
sir.
you're much less likely to damage things like bearings and stuff with this than you are with a full-on crazy power washer.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was pitting for a pro in Louisville, maybe it was.
Yeah.
And her saddle had a rip in it.
From a power
washer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And you're not going to be ripping your stuff apart with this. You're going to get it plenty clean.
Yep.
It does put out power. I've already put up a picture of cleaning up, concrete blocks
Yep.
that were pretty well stained. it is powerful, but
Yeah.
not powerful enough to rip stuff apart.
Yeah.
So I will mention that Works is offering our listeners 15% off all HydroShots and accessories.
Yeah.
They even put together a bike cleaning kit for you to check out. If you get your Works HydroShot at yourcleanbike.com and enter promo code CLEANBIKE to get 15% off any HydroShot item. That's YOURCLEANBIKE.com and enter code CLEANBIKE at checkout. Hope to see you on the trails and in the pits this fall. Riding hard and riding
Clean.
Clean we are.
And we know that works because I've already ordered stuff.
Yeah.
So we know that the Clean Bike code works because it took 15% right off the bottom line of my order, and away we went.
Away we go.
Awesome stuff. I will be taking my HydroShot to the both. It's going to get a workout this weekend.
for
These
sure.
last 2 weekends. It is going to both World Cups with me. I'm going to use it on Tyler's stuff. I don't know if we're going to get. It doesn't look like we're going to get full on Jingle Cross mud this year, but it's going to Jingle Cross with me, which you have to have some way to clean your bike at Jingle Cross. Historically,
Yeah.
you just can't get around it. So it's going to be used there and at Trek. So we'll have more information on this as we use it this season, as I use it this season.
Come by where we're racing or where we're.
If you
where
want
we
to
will
check
be,
it out, we'll
come
be
check it out.
happy to show you the two that we have to check it out. This is, like I said, the brand new. Full disclosure, this is an ad, right? This is an ad for them, but it's because we love their stuff.
When
right?
they said they're interested, I was like, yep.
Yes,
We had already done the back work on this.
Yeah.
We were looking into getting these on our
Right.
own.
We love this.
We
thing.
love
yes,
these.
Yes. So
And it's a great company. We've already gone out and purchased more. And I was telling you this morning, I'm thinking about a hedge clipper.
yeah, because you'll have the batteries.
Because I have the
already.
batteries, and these
Right.
batteries are interchangeable one to the next.
Yep, and they're really nice. So
Yeah.
they have a little indicator for how much is left, so you know when you're getting low. So yeah, awesome stuff.
Yep.
So all right, go check it out, yourcleanbike.com, and use the promo code CLEANBIKE to get your 15% off. All right, Mr. David Pellin, we were going to do a review of a really cool product that I just got that's kind of people have been looking at, and it's a little bit on the expensive side, but people are kind of interested in it, and that is, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
It's the Park WH-1. I think WH stands for
Wheel holder.
Wheel holder. And this is this it just looks like a big weird metal shaped thing, right?
Yeah.
And it is designed to hold
wheels.
while you work on them. How many
Yeah.
times have you been cleaning a cassette that you're balancing against your lap that's still on the wheel, that you have like leaning against your lap, one end on the table, and you're trying to get in there with a rag or a brush, and you're holding the wheel, and it's kind of spinning and moving out of your way? All the time.
All the time.
Yes. How many times have you been putting on a brake rotor and the wheel is like teetering on the axle because,
Right,
some
yeah.
people drill a hole in their workbench so that the axle fits down in the hole.
Yeah, but you're still not a very wide platform there. It's just the width of the...
And so it's still
the-
jostling around
Yeah.
while you're trying to do it. You got maybe a 6-bolt rotor or even a center lock, and it's you're dealing with all that. So this WH1 is for all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right? You can't really rebuild a hub on this thing because the hub is involved in holding the wheel.
Right.
But everything else you do with wheels, think about setting up tubeless, right?
Okay.
You put this thing, you can mount your wheel vertically so that it's straight up and down like
Yep.
it is on the bike. You can mount it at a 45-degree angle. So that it kind of faces you, or you can mount it like tabletop so that it's pointing straight up, and you can work straight down on it. All three
So that would be horizontal.
horizontal, yes. And so whatever is the job, whatever job you're doing, you can position it to one of those three depending on what it is. Say you're putting sealant in your tubeless, right? Then you're probably going to want to use the vertical
Yeah.
one, right? You get your first bead off,
Right.
you put your sealant in, and you can put it back together right there with everything. We used to do this, or I used to do this on the actual bike stand, right? You kind of use the jaw clamp of the bike stand and put it between two spokes and let the wheel hang there, so that you could get the sealant in, and
or
then,
in your truing stand, and then you end up with sealant
everywhere
on your truing stand.
Yeah, and I mean the problem with the truing stand is if you want to take the tire completely off and you have a double arm stand, you're kind of you got to take it back. But this eliminates all that. Or even just you're changing a clincher. You're changing a tube and a clincher, right? Mm-hmm. You set it on the horizontal one with it pointing up. You pull off the first bead, pull the tube out. It's sitting right there. You don't have to be balancing this. It's really, really useful.
Really versatile.
Yeah. The one other thing that I was impressed with is it comes with, you can use it for quick release wheels.
Right.
It comes with a little spacer
for
the other side of the hub. So the frame of this thing itself mimics the one of your dropouts, right?
Right.
And then they give you this little spacer, which would mimic the second dropout, because you've got your quick release through this hole. So that's the one side, and then you pop this thing in the other side, pull your lever down, and
closes.
It's tight. Yep. It's tight in the thing. Yeah. So that and then it's got through axles for 12, 15, and 20. The 12 is just the bar by itself, and then it has these little slide overs for a 15 and a slide over for a 20 that fit on that.
And so what holds it in place?
What holds the wheel?
When you're in the through axle, is it just
nothing?
Gravity?
It's just gravity holds it so that it's just sitting on there. Nothing clamps it from the other side.
Okay.
But if it's especially if it's straight up, you don't need that. 45, you don't really need that. Vertically, maybe a little bit of you want to make sure it doesn't slide off the end of that.
Yeah.
But and those all snap into the back of the frame of this, so they're always right there. But the quick release spacer and the main post and then the adapters for the 15 and the 20 all just click into the back. You can mount it in a vise.
This is going to be my big thing with them, is you can mount it to your bench, but sometimes you don't want something mounted to your bench.
You might not have a big bench, and that's going to be in the way. So, you can clamp it. There's a front clamp, a front tab, so you can clamp it at the front if you're going to be using it the horizontal or the 45.
Yeah.
If you need to use the vertical one, then you need to clamp it at the back so you have room in front of the
wheel.
vise. I've used it both ways. I clamped it in my vise for a while, but then I went over. I have a bench just for wheel stuff that I work on, so I went over and mounted it actually to that bench in the center of that bench.
And is that where it's going to live now?
That's probably where it's going to live because it's mounted in between my park, one of my park truing stands and my P&K Lie truing stand, so it's kind of right in the middle of those. So I have room to work on it from either one of those. So really, really cool.
Yeah, it's great product from Park Tools. MSRP on it $100.
Yeah,
which
around
sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you talk about how versatile it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's if you're doing a lot of wheel stuff, or even just you want an easier way to do the wheel stuff that you do,
you're right.
Check it out for sure. I'm very impressed. I have not built a wheel on it yet. I'm kind of curious about doing that.
Yeah.
You would use the horizontal one, right? You slide the bare hub on,
right?
And then you can use it for that. So I'm kind of curious about doing that. But other than that, I think it's going to be really useful for the tubeless setups. And I was very, very happy. I know as soon as I've been waiting for it to come out, and then when it did, I was doing other things so I couldn't give it the time that it needed. But now that I have, man, oh man, I would definitely go check this thing out. And there's reviews online on different ways you can use it. So yeah, very impressed.
And like so many quality products out there, you pay for them.
Yeah,
but
and so
once that money's gone,
right.
You will be so happy that you spent the money on it.
Yes,
right?
Yes. And unlike, the Works Hydro Shop we were talking about, that was an ad. This is not an ad. Park doesn't pay me to say this, right?
We should get in touch with Park.
I bought this tool with money out of my pocket because I wanted to try it out because I do enough wheel stuff. And if you're interested in doing wheel stuff, if you're going to take on the Wheel Build Challenge, you just want a little bit more, what's more, where are more tools I can spend my money on?
Yeah.
This is certainly not a tool that you have to do any of this stuff, but it's one of those things that just, if you are doing this stuff, it just makes your life so much easier.
Yeah, I mean, as you were saying, and what I really appreciate with tools like this is, there's other ways to do all this kind of stuff.
Right.
And if you only do it once, okay.
Right.
But
Right.
you will work on your bike more when you have the right tools that it won't take you twice as long to
Right.
get it done.
Exactly. So I really, really love this thing. I'll be talking. If you have questions about it, send them to
Bikeshopshow at gmail.com. It's been a little while since we've done this together.
bikeshopshow@gmail.com. So, check it out. That was our tech topic for today. I think you'll really, as you know, we talk a lot about wheel stuff on this show.
We do. Wheels.
We get a lot of questions about wheel stuff. So, there was a couple people that rolled tubulars at the Alma GP.
Indeed.
And brought them to me, and we're like, "Can you look at this and see what I did wrong?"
Yeah. Was it one of the famous people?
One of them is somebody we know. Do you want to say who it was?
Was he flat?
He's been flat.
He had a flat. Was it Doug?
It was Evil.
Evil.
But that's all right. He did a great job. He built his wheels beautifully.
Mm-hmm. Took the wheel build challenge.
He did everything right. The only thing he didn't do is use quite enough glue.
Oh.
He had about, and I've seen other people do this. You want, you don't want to use too much glue because we always say use thin layers.
Right.
So I've seen where people use too little glue, and he had about as much glue as you would probably use on one layer. And that was all the layers, so he just needs to use a little more glue, and boom.
Good.
It'll be right on there, and he'll be rocking it.
All right.
All right, Mr. David Palin.
And by the way, look for the travels of Flat Doug.
The travels of Flat Doug, because they will be coming at you.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed.
So, all right, Mr. David Palin, what
Yes,
are we
sir.
going to do? We got questions to get to, but before we do that, we want to talk about Whoop.
Yes, you want
Whoop
to talk
is
about
still
Whoop.
here. We're getting, again, people coming to tell me about Whoop, and how does it...
How many times do we have to tell you people? Listen to us.
How does it evaluate my rest? I'm worried about my rest. And
Yeah.
it's something that people are starting to take more seriously now, is their rest and recovery.
And just knowing you went to bed at 8 o'clock and woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you did not get 8 hours of sleep.
No, not
and
necessarily.
all of that sleep wasn't the same quality
wasn't good
sleep.
Yeah, right. So I know, people were using it for Alma because, hey, they had Alma, and then the next day after Alma was the other thing you announced, which was the
Uncle John's Dirt Road Race.
So, okay, am I going to get enough sleep in between these two?
This voice just doesn't come out without good rest.
So go check out whoop.com.
Use the code
BikeShop.
BikeShop. It has to be that way too.
BikeShop. To get your discount on your subscription. You get the Whoop hardware bracelet for
It's all free.
And you just subscribe, and you have to do I think it's a 12
or 18
month subscription.
Yeah.
And it is a training device that will help you evaluate your recovery. And it's just, so it's a way to look at your training in a different way. You're working hard, but you're not getting results that you think you should.
Yeah.
This is a way to start evaluating, am I getting enough rest, recovery, and stuff like that.
Going too hard on a day when you don't have the recovery to get quality out of that is wasted effort.
Yeah. It's like, we've heard from coaches all the time, and you've probably heard this from us, Dave, coaches that tell us, I'm so frustrated. I told this person they were supposed to have a rest day, and instead they went out and did a hard group ride because their friends were going out and ride, and it's and they think, well, I'm doing work, so it should be good. It's like, but then you've just screwed up every single day the rest of the week now, because you're not recovered. You're not going to be able to put in your efforts like you're supposed to be.
Don't be that viewer.
You didn't get your rest.
That's right.
So we're looking at training from a different perspective
As
now.
Craig North will tell you, listen to more Bike Shop CX. You will get plenty of rest.
So check it out, whoop.com. Use the code BikeShop
to
get your 15% off, I believe.
15% off.
15% off. Yeah, check that out. And we're really, really happy to have them on board as well. And we're interested, if you have a Whoop story, send us an email to bikeshopshow@gmail.com.
Bikeshopshow@gmail.com.
All right, Mr. David Palin.
Yeah.
We do have
It's
questions.
Reading time.
It is that time of the week to do some reading.
Let's take our little carpet squares and make a circle.
Do you want to start us off here?
I will start us off here.
All right, start us off.
Dear Scotty D and MD VP,
Yes.
As a longtime listener, but only recent subscriber to the Wide Angle Podium, I thought
That's
I'd
good.
take this occasion to submit a question. Why did it take me so long to sign up? Oh, there we go. There's his question. We can't answer that
That's
one
it.
for you. No, this is Tyler calling from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah.
Kazoo, as they say.
Right.
We say, some people say. We all want cyclocross to be accessible to anyone, not just pros and folks with money to burn. But the average viewer is anything like... If the average viewer is anything like me, neither a pro nor someone with money to burn, they're talking up your recommendations for shiny new products and
Tallying up your recommendation.
Oh, there you go. Those little words. For shiny new products, shiny new parts and tools, and thinking about a second income or maybe even a second house or apartment to contain it all. Don't get me wrong. It is seriously cool to learn about all the top-end stuff from the experts. That's you guys. Did you hear that, sponsors? And the potential sponsors? And to imagine building the ideal workshop. Hey, I like to spend big once in a while to live a little bit of the dream. And I know that truly cheap stuff winds up costing you more in the long ride. Still, you've got to cut a few costs somewhere or else you're out of the game entirely. You guys do offer great tips on where to save a few bucks, but I thought a segment on thrifty racing at a semi-competitive level might be cool. What, in your esteemed opinions, can we skimp on and still have a great time out there? By this, I mean avoiding where possible equipment-related DNFs or DFLs. Are there a few specific parts or tools for the purpose of cross racing where the mid or low range stuff is going to serve you just as well? Are there any general tips on keeping costs manageable throughout the season? I think even viewers who may actually be pros with money to burn have something to learn here. Such viewers are super visible in their cross communities and are in a great position to advise other riders with fewer resources or riders who are dipping their toes in and don't want to spend huge right away. What do you think? On a personal note, I spoke to Mr. David Pallon at AAVCCX last year and have revised my never meet your heroes stance to always meet your heroes as long as they're cyclocross folks. What a nice guy. Stop laughing so hard during that part. I'll read that part again. What a nice guy. Love the show. I'll see you at Alma GP this weekend and Trek in a few. And you know what? Obviously, Alma is behind us at this point.
Yeah, this is Tyler from Kalamazoo.
I did see Tyler.
Yes, he came up to the tent and talked to me for a little bit too.
Yeah.
So, Tyler, this is a really cool question, Mr. Dave Pallon. I was actually thinking about this before. I think I even mentioned on the show how I want to build a 9-speed, a very serious, high-end 9-speed cross and or gravel bike. Right? Here's my opinion on this: is if you have a 2x9. You used to get around on a cyclocross course just fine with 2x9, right?
You're a little younger than me,
everything
but not that
went,
much. But yeah, we did
everything
okay
went fine, right?
On 10 speeds, yeah.
Right. So 2x9, 9-speed, there's a big drop in price when you go from 11 to 10.
Right.
There's an even bigger drop in price when you go from 10 to 9.
Yeah.
The difficulty is you can't get real top-end 9-speed stuff anymore, right? It's
but like Tyler's saying, it's good enough for racing.
Yes. For the beauty of it is, in cyclocross, you fall a lot.
Yeah.
You tend to fall a lot. And if you go down, one, it breaks less because it's not as... it's not operating as close to the limits of its design, say, as an 11 speed is, right? So you have a little bit more margin of error. And if you do break stuff, it's very inexpensive to replace, right? So I would recommend doing things, look at like, the only way to really do this is to build your own 9-speed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're not going to find one for sale from anybody anymore. So I think, you go out, you look for a used frame, or a used bike, obviously, that already has 9-speed. You probably could find that on eBay. But look at things like the Microshift stuff. Microshift is one of the companies that's still making high-level 9-speed stuff.
Right.
And if you're going to send us an email using the Microshift nickname and bad-mouthing Microshift, don't do it. Don't waste your time.
No.
Because it won't come on, and I'll just delete it. Because there's nothing wrong with Microshift.
Yeah.
Anytime I've ever used Microshift, it's worked perfectly fine. It may not be your favorite, but it doesn't matter. It's not campy. It's not meant
to be campy.
It's not meant to be that. It works fine.
Exactly.
And I've never had an issue with it. But you can get their R9 2x9 setup, $141 shifters.
There you go. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
The brakes, $50, right? Another thing, if you're looking for tires, I'm assuming if you're look at running clinchers, right? Probably.
Right.
Look at the Griffo Race, the Challenge Griffo Race training tire, right? Those $50 for a set.
Yeah.
That's 2 tires, right? So $25 each. Mm-hmm. It's the same tread as the high-end Griffos.
Right. On a different casing.
On a different casing.
Yeah.
So you basically have the advanced tread that's on the Griffos that people are paying $100 a piece for.
And you get to laugh at them when you go by and say, hey, my 9-speed setup has the same tread.
Yes. The Microshift R9 rear derailleur.
Yeah.
This is MSRP.
Right.
$30.
$30.
Front derailleur, $20.
20 bones.
Yeah. Cassette, $17.
$17.
So, again, and you look at a crank, the FSA Vero, I was looking this up, $85. Boom.
Tyler, here's my commitment to you.
You throw a Shimano
Sorry, go ahead.
46 tooth on that for another $20, right? Mm-hmm. Now you have a 34 46 crank for under $100. Or a little over $100. Mm-hmm. Boom.
Boom.
Off you go. Get some handlebars.
Yeah.
Off you go. So I would look at things like that. Look at 9-speed stuff and race a 2x9 setup, and you will be, or even a 1x9.
Right.
You will be crush it. Look at things like the Gevinol shifters, right?
Right.
They used to be the retro shifters, things like that. There's all kinds of stuff like that. And cyclocross is one of the disciplines of cycling, in my opinion, where you can be very competitive with this stuff.
Indeed.
You're not paying huge penalties. Weight penalties in cyclocross are not as important because you're usually carrying 10 pounds of mud sometimes anyways. So it tends to negate those small weight advantages. Not that at the pointy end of the race, those weight advantages aren't important.
We're not talking about that.
Exactly. So, yes, look, you're looking at aluminum wheels, which are totally fine and going to last you forever. So, Tyler, this was a great question. And, I mean, you could go on forever about this kind of stuff.
And what I would say and what I try to do is commit to Tyler. And we've tried this in the past where you talk about this is what we do, because you're in the pro pit. I'm not there. And I've said it before, well, that's what works in the pro pit, and you should be doing that, but I'm not a pro, and this is what I do.
Yeah.
So we will be more conscientious of that going forward when appropriate. We'll talk a little more about the budget stuff as well.
Yeah, for sure, because I think it is important, and it's one of the reasons why a lot of people get into cyclocross in the first place is because they can do it on an older bike,
right?
Something that they're not breaking the bank for. So, all right, great question, Tyler. Thanks for coming up to us at the Alma GP, and stop by a Trek, man. Yeah, for sure.
We'll see you there.
Yep. All right. Next question is from Zach in Pennsylvania. He says, Dear Scotty D and Mr. David Palin, 5-star podcast.
Nice.
Looking forward to the next Jonathan Page-style race recap.
And we know it's
still being
worked on.
Not much got done this week because I am going nuts trying to get ready to get to these 2 World Cups.
Right.
But it will get there. So, for this CX season, I'll be racing on a carbon tubular, wait for it, rim brake wheel set. What? With carbon brake track. Okay, my pit and training wheels are aluminum tubeless.
Ooh.
My question is on the rim/brake pad compatibility. Can I start a race on the carbon rims with carbon-specific brake pads, and if I get a flat, run the aluminum wheels with the carbon pads? I heard this is okay, but I imagine that I will need to clean and pick bits of debris or aluminum shards out of the carbon pads before using them on the carbon wheels again. Is this the best setup for the potential need to use both carbon and aluminum wheels during a race? Is there a universal brake compound I don't know about? Any tips would be helpful and appreciated. Thanks, Zach from PA. This is totally fine to do, Zach. As long as you're going from carbon to aluminum. Once you use those pads on aluminum, though, they're done on carbon.
Yeah, don't try to pick stuff out.
Don't try and pick stuff out.
You can see the hair standing up on the back of my neck.
You won't be able to get it all.
No.
You might get the big piece.
You'll get everything you see.
Right. But there's stuff in there you won't be able to see. So it's perfectly fine to do this in an emergency in a race. You got to make your switch. But then those brake pads are for the rest of their life committed to aluminum rims only.
Right. Yeah.
And don't go back and use them on carbon.
So and if you're using them in the pits, you're done.
Yeah, which is fine. It
Which
might
is
be fine.
fine,
Brake
yeah.
pads are not expensive.
No,
and
but you
usually
can't
have-
go back to your, I'm going to pit again, get back onto my carbon wheels.
Yeah, no. Once you put them on aluminum, they're on the aluminum wheels forever. But the fact that the compounds, that's kind of become at the end of rim brake stuff. That was becoming a less and less important thing, and what people were really doing was using. It didn't matter with the quality of the carbon rims. It didn't matter what compounds you're picking a compound that you liked, as long as you committed it to carbon only and stuck with it. It didn't matter what those pads were made for. Right. You could use them on whatever you wanted. So, yep, good question. It's okay to do that. Just don't ever use them back once you've done that.
Right.
So, all right, Mr. David Palin, let's read the next question from Jeff.
All righty, from Jeff, who says,
This is good.
Scott and David, sorry, no clever salutation.
That's all right.
Own it. Just own it. We like that, Jeff. Regarding Tony's question
Jeff
about...
is a long-time listener.
Yes, he is.
Thank you,
About
Jeff.
dynamo hubs, it looks like he has two choices, Shutter Precision and KT. I spent some years commuting 14 miles each way to work in randoneering. I completed the 200, 300, 400, 600K series several times.
Jeff has wanted to give us a resume.
He did. So now we have Jeff's Palmares. Thank you, Jeff. Those are brevets, man. Good for you. Right?
So, what's funny is Jeff doesn't need to explain at all how serious Jeff knows his stuff. Right. So it's awesome that he included all that. But Jeff, we know that Jeff knows his stuff.
He knows his stuff. Which is how come he didn't call us? Where are you now, Jeff? Which is the qualification for PBP, as they say, or Paris. Given my personality and that type of riding, I've become a huge fan of dynamo hubs. I heard you mention a local randonneur that is friends with Scott. He is probably a good local resource. Peter White Cycles is the best-known importer of Schmidt and Shimano dynamo hubs in the U.S. Is a very good resource. This was the first time I heard about KT dynamo hubs.
Cool.
I have over 15,000 miles on a Son 220R, SON20R, a.k.a. Son Deluxe hub, and 1,000 or two on a Shutter Precision hub. The Son from Schmidt is the gold standard. The SP is a really good alternative for the price.
So Jeff then goes on and gives us some details about those. The Shutter Precision, the KT, and the Schmidt. If anyone has any questions or wants to know more about those, we can put that up somewhere or send that to them.
Yeah.
But this is really good stuff. Thank you so much, Jeff. Because I don't know jack about dynamo hubs.
But we know Jeff. You don't need to know Jack when you know Jeff.
I just know Jeff, right? So if anyone has any more interest in that, please. But we wanted to put that in there. This is the kind of thing we love. No one in the bike industry knows everything that's out there.
No.
So when we can get help like this, it's much appreciated. So thanks a lot, Jeff. And we'll pass that on should that come up for sure. So
All right.
Moving
talk
on.
about Hi?
Hi, yes.
Hi.
I'm going to read that one. So this is from Hi. He says, "Hey all, love the show, and it's been enormously helpful in keeping my bike dialed since I do all my own maintenance. Just glued up a set of Clement PDX tubulars for the first time, and notice that the base tape extends past the rim bed, which wasn't the case with the Challenge tubulars that were glued on there before from the previous owner." Okay, so I was like, wait a minute. He said it's the first time, but it is the first time because those were previous. The previous owner had aqua-sealed the sidewalls and transition between the rim and tire so water wouldn't get under into the edge and cause the glue to start to separate. I'm wondering if I need to apply a small bead of aquaseal along the edge as a precaution. Attached are a pic of my rims and a stock photo that shows other rims having the same exposed base tape. Second question. All right, so let's do that. Yes. Hi. That's all what you want to do.
Right.
You can put an aquaseal if you want to cover the entire sidewall. I don't think PDXs need aquaseal on the sidewall.
No, in this case, I think you just want to protect that base tape.
The Clement and Donnelly sidewalls are more durable than the Challenge sidewalls, in my opinion.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean better or worse, all right?
No, one's more supple, one's
more
durable.
supple, one's more durable. Maybe you don't like the supple of the so nothing's better or worse here. It's just those are tougher sidewalls, and I don't think I very seldom see anybody aqua sealing Clement tires. What you can do is what you mentioned is AquaSeal right along that edge of that base tape to keep that base tape from wicking water up inside of it. You can also do it with a little bit of glue. Sometimes I'll glue over the edge of that base tape when I'm putting the base tape on, like the set I'm gluing right now. And there you go. So definitely do that if you're worried about that. And good job gluing up your first set. Second question for my tubeless rims. I was turned on to a skinny stripper latex rim strips that seal and form essentially a tubular that helps prevent burping to some extent when the sealant works its way along the edge of the tire bead over the first few weeks. Any thoughts? Thanks. Hi. They sound fine to me. I mean, that's anything you can do to get those tubeless to seal up better is a good thing. And helping burping, yes, there's a lot of things you can do. I don't know what this skinny stripper latex rim strip thing does specifically, but even just adding more tubeless tape, making it thicker. Some people will put a thicker layer of something down to force that tire up tighter. So there's lots of things like this that you can do if you're having trouble with burping and you're really worried about that. Although with the modern technologies, I think burping is becoming a much, much less seen thing. So
Indeed, and much less heard, for sure.
Hi, thanks for that question, Mr. Dave Palin. Read the next one from Jay from the Bronx.
Jay from the Bronx. Fellas, I'm sending out this question, or because it's from the Bronx, I guess it's, hey, fellas. Hey, fellas. Hey, fellas, I'm sending out this question to all the bike peeps I know. Would love your opinion if you have a second. You know what I'm saying? Just finished a little side job, and my wife gave me the clearance to spend some dollars on a new bike for the CX season. I dove into eBay, hoping for the best value, and now have two choices. A used 2017 Trek Boon 7 with SRAM Force 2x Hydro Disc in really good shape for $2K. A brand new 2019 Santa Cruz Stigmata with 2x SRAM Rival Hydro Disc for $2.5. I'm sure I will find other things to do with the bike, but it's going to be primarily a race day machine. Any thoughts or opinions? Yes, you can't go wrong on either of these. I like the Stigmata. And I will also say that I'm the guy that doesn't like to be on the same bike as everybody out there.
Yeah.
And not that the
So
Boon 7...
You're saying you see fewer of the Stigmata than the Boons.
You see fewer of the Stigmata than the Boons.
I would. It's a tough choice. Again, I totally agree with you, Mr. Dave Palin. These are both. Again, we've had this very similar question. I think it was the same two bikes, maybe not the same years, but someone was considering the same two bikes. I think they both have advantages.
He's now riding a Stigmata, by the way,
and disadvantages. Yeah. The Stigmata is a little bit newer, so that might affect your decision. That being said, I don't think Santa Cruz has updated the Stigmata design in years.
Colors only.
So it's just really color changes. Yep. So it's not like you're getting new technology. You're maybe getting a bike with fewer miles on it and less wear and tear.
And it says a brand new 2019 Stigmata.
Yeah.
So in 2017, you're buying someone else's problems.
Right.
Even if it's in great shape. I don't know.
Yeah. And the Boon is a great cyclocross bike.
We love the Boon.
I would, I would probably either consider getting a new Boon or the new Stigmata and maybe not get the used Boon. If you've got that choice, if you got that money option.
That wasn't a C. There was a 1 and a 2. There was no C. So, yeah.
So, all right, Jay, thanks for that question because I'm sure a lot of people are wrestling with that kind of stuff. So, all right, moving on. This is from Matt in Brooklyn. People might be hearing more of Matt on the other podcast that I do relatively soon. He's like, of course I wait. Oh, first he says, hello, harbingers of Cross finally being here. Of course I will wait till 2 days before the start of my season to put my brand new Donnelly PDXs on my Illuminator. With rain possibly in the forecast at this weekend's Nittany Line Cross in Trexeltown, Pennsylvania, I knew that swapping my Gravel King SK38s for the corner ripping 33 PDX will help me stay competitive with some of the competition. Competitive with the competition. Yes. And of course, I waited
till racing with the racers?
Till seemingly the last minute. So last night I took my Bontrager flash pump a half a case of CO2s, and a brand new quart of stand sealant to swap the tires. Those Gravel Kings just didn't want to come off. That's a problem sometimes. But when they did, I noticed that the tubeless tape had bunched up in sections, probably where the tire lever was working the bead. Yeah, yep, definitely. Once I got my PDXs on, neither would hold air, and I think it may have something to do with the tape being pushed away from the rim edge towards the center of the rim. Now, on to my question: can you reuse tubeless tape if it's not torn? This is a good question. The tape was laid on the rim last season, and I hope to save a few bucks by reusing it. If I remember correctly, proper installation of the tape includes trying to get it to cover from edge to edge, yes, and it makes sense that you run the risk of pushing and tearing the tape when you're swapping tires. Using this Pedro's level, can you think of a trick to prevent or minimize the risk of damaging your tape job while swapping tubeless tires? For now, I'm off to LBS Queen Cargo in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Give them a shout out to get some new tape and some assistance in retaping and sealing my tires so I can race this weekend. Matt in Brooklyn. So Matt actually contacted me because he needed an answer to this quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's nothing inherently wrong with reusing tubeless tape, but it's probably going to create nightmares for you.
It is.
So it's not something
Don't
that
do it.
wears out or gets worn. Yeah, but
it's not as sticky when you're taping
it's
it
not
on.
as sticky.
And
Yeah,
don't do it.
For the cost of tubeless tape, I would just get more tubeless
The problem he's likely having here is where it's bunched up.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's sealant that's gone under it, so that sealant that tape is never going to stick like it should.
Right.
So the amount of time and the amount of sealant that you're going to pay to fill this thing, it's going to save
you might
you
get
money
it to work,
to buy tape.
but it's the amount of effort it's going to take is not worth the $10 for a new roll of tape.
No.
So, but it's a really good question. Yes, there is nothing inherently wrong about reusing tubeless tape. That's not,
So the secret to getting under those without bunching up the tape, squeeze them.
Squeeze them, yeah. Squeeze the tire.
Squeeze the tires. Yeah. Bring those beads into the middle where the depth of that rim is,
and you're already past the edge of the tape.
Right.
You're probably not going to put a hole in the tape with the plastic Pedros. I love those plastic Pedros tire levers.
Yep.
You're probably not going to put a hole in the tape if you hit it from the center with those plastic Pedros tire levers.
No.
You might dig up the edge, though. So once you're past that edge, you're right. Squeeze it towards the center, get past that edge, and then pry it back. It makes it a little tougher to pry it over, but you can still get it there. So, Matt, great question. Thank you so much. And Mr. David Pan, we've got one more from Brent.
Do you want me to read?
Yeah.
Dear masters of the torque wrench, is there a trademark on the Bike Shop CX logo?
Yes, and if you use it for anything,
we're on you like white on rice.
We're on you like white on rice. All right, let's throw that out there. What is that from? What TV show is that from? All right.
Get to us at bikeshopshow.
Bikeshopshow at gmail.com.
So here's the story. After your last show, I relayed to my wife.
You missed. He says, if so, would you please refrain from taking any legal action for the following item?
And then sent us a picture. Right. So here's the story. After your last show, I relayed to my wife my disappointment over the lack of Bike Shop CX onesies. Go back, listen to those shows, people.
Yeah, listen to the previous show.
Imagine my excitement when she informed me that not only does she know how to make custom iron-ons, we own a device to print them at home. The logo is in teal because that's the color I've got in the house right now. And I have to say, I think it turned out pretty well. We would agree with that.
Yes.
On to the technical stuff. My cross bike is a 2019 Boone running SRAM Force crankset. Recommended torque is 48 to 54 Newton meters. You've often mentioned that during cross season, it's a good idea to remove the cranks after a wet or muddy race for cleaning and to let moisture out. First, do you have a go-to tool and technique for removing the crank arm given the high torque SRAM recommends when installing it? Second, is there a time frame or number of removals and installs after which you would replace the self-extracting bolt? Thanks, Brent.
So, first of all, the Bike Shop CX onesie, amazing. And no, we're not going to make it.
We will see you in court is what he means.
No, that's awesome, dude. Make more of those.
Yeah.
Make more of those, would you? Just don't sell them.
And we're so pleased and proud and happy for you that you need onesies.
Yes. Exactly.
Good for you, man.
Exactly.
Kids are the spice of life.
So a tool to remove the crank, yes, it's torqued. It's a tight tight bolt, and it's usually the point where I use the Park T-handled Allen wrench.
P-handle? T-handle?
T-handle.
You use the T-handle.
Or the P-handle. The one with the blue grip on it. I don't know if that's P or T.
That's P.
P or T or whatever. But that's where
P.T. Barnum. That's JB, you're in every show.
It all comes back.
It all comes back to JB. Sorry.
But that's where you use the short end of that because you get all that leverage from the long shaft, right?
For sure.
And that's usually my go-to for that. I have a couple. I do have a a very expensive T-handled one that also I use.
The green handles.
You use, but it's where you don't try and use the long shaft in the crank, and you'll
no.
It's really way too tight for that.
Right.
But that's where you're going to be using those side. Allen keys, or just if you have a really long L wrench that gives you plenty of leverage, one of those is fine too. But you just need something long so you get enough leverage to take that out. Is there a time frame or number of rules? Not really. It's good until it's not, right?
When
it's
it cracks, use it one less time.
I had a guy come up to me in Alma, hey, you don't happen to have one of these? And he had a self-extracting bolt that was cracked in half.
Nice.
So you want to do it before that. But if you feel anything funny about it, but they should last at least a season, even 2 seasons, depending on how well you're taking care of them. You're not cross-threading them. You're not over-torquing them.
Right,
It's one reason why torquing them in the first place is important. They can last a long, long time. It's one of the things that during the off-season you should look at, and if you notice anything funky with the threads or anything, then yes, get a new one. So
we should talk about at some point what you should look at
when you see for threads.
Yeah, we did a show on that.
We could do that.
Yeah.
We could do another thread show.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. David Palin.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you want to add?
No. Someone's got to go to work. So both of us keep looking at the clock.
We
Someone
want
needs to go to work today.
but we want to encourage people to get over to the Wide Angle Podium website and become a member. You've heard a couple people that have sent emails to us about becoming members. Yes, the survival of the network, it depends on the members. It depends on you guys subscribing and supporting the shows that you like to listen to.
We trust our viewers. We're not hiding behind a paywall.
We have to have that to continue doing what we're doing. So thank you to everyone who is already a subscriber. And if you're considering it, please go check it out and look at all the great shows that you now become a member for. And come and see us at Trek. Wide Angle Podium is going to have a very visible setup.
Indeed.
That you'll be able to see and come and say hi to everybody, almost everybody.
Take Tyler's advice. Come meet your heroes.
For sure. I think,
and if we're your hero, you need to get alive.
I think they're putting together a scavenger hunt
that
style.
will have stuff about us.
One of the questions is about Bike Shop CX. Check it out. It's just a cool thing to be a part of. So if you're considering being a member, please go check out, get more information, and do it if you can. So we really, really appreciate it. All right, Mr. David Palin.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? If people want to get in touch with you,
Mr. David Palin on the Twitter and on the Instagram.
And you can get me, Scott Dienbach, at BikeShopCX on both Twitter and Instagram. And keep sending us your tech questions. We're hot and heavy into the cyclocross season now. BikeShopShow at gmail.com.
BikeShopShow@gmail.com.
All right, Mr. David Palin.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for another great show, man.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, man. That virtual fist bump to our viewers. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for our callers.
Thanks for our support, your support. And, thanks for our callers, Tweety Mike and Doctor of the Dirt, Dirty Tracy Berman. And with that, I think, indeed, the bike shop, she's closed. Now, this is part of the outro where I don't talk, right?
Don't talk right now.
Okay, no talking now.
So,
okay.
All right, that was the show for this time. I hope everybody dug it. Thanks to our... See how the phone calls work. They're working. We'll get more of these, I hope. Just keep checking Twitter. When we're recording live, we'll put out the number, and you can call. You can also call that same number if you see it on Twitter and leave a voicemail. And if you leave a good voicemail, we might include that in the show, too. So there you go, Mr. David Palin. How's that?
That sounds good to me, man. Get out there onto the Twits and tweets and the Instagrams. Find the phone number. Give us a call.
All right, and thanks again to all our great sponsors, Grimpeur Brothers, Works, Whoop, You name it, all great stuff. Thank you so much.
TNR-Tape.
TNR-Tape. I can't wait to go see those guys at the 2 World Cups. If you're going to either Jingle Cross or Trek, come and say hi for sure to either me at Jingle Cross or both of us at Trek or all the Wide Angle Podium people at Trek. That's going to just be a blast. So we're really looking forward to that. All right, Mr. David Palin.
Yes,
I think that's it. And with that, the Bike Shop is closed.